So I've not had very many A-classes. This is the second one that I've ever bought. As far as hot hatches go, this is a fairly good looking car. It's nothing crazy, it's only a 1.5 litre, which gives you 108 brake horsepower and 192 pound-feet of torque. Now, these are okay figures for a 1.5 litre engine, with it being a diesel and a manual. But what really gets me with this car and the petrol version of this that I've driven previously, it's how slow and sluggish the first gear feels. It's only until you get to that second gear that you feel any kind of power or punch. So this is a third generation A-Class, and they ran from 2013 till about 2018. Until Mercedes introduced the fourth generation from 2018 onwards. And as far as hot hatches go, this is a fairly good looking car. This is the sport trim model, so you get SE, Sport and AMG line. So between the SE, Sport and the AMG line trim levels, you kind of get different variations of the body styling and different features inside the car. What I found out is that for the SE and the Sport trim levels, you get the same front bumper. You have this one-piece front end badge, and also you get the diamond grille on the back, which looks really, really cool. It's only until you get to the AMG trim level that the front end changes. It looks more aggressive and it's completely redesigned. On the side profile, they all tend to look the same, whether it's the SE, Sport or the AMG line. And they all tend to have this signature swooping line on the side. This is also carried into the new generation, but it's just not as prominent. One thing that's worth pointing out is that Mercedes have used this kind of style for their design, for the wing mirrors, a lot. We've seen this across in the C-Class, the R-Class, as far back as 2006, so hardly any change in terms of that, but it does look sporty and it does look good. With the Sport trim level, you also get bigger alloys, so these are the 17-inch versus the 16-inch that you get on the SE trim level. Now, it's on the rear of the car that you see the biggest differences between the SE, Sport and the AMG line trim model. So with this being the Sport, you get two exhaust tailpipes on the back, also a trim chrome piece on the diffuser. If this was the SE trim, there is nothing on the back, just a plastic diffuser, very plain. If this was the AMG line model, you'll get a lot more of an aggressive back, as well as two fake air slits on either side of the bumper to make it look a bit more aggressive. There are also slight variations on the tail lights between the years and the trim levels, but with mine being the Sport, you get this beautiful LED line on the tail light. Now, something that you don't get with the SE trim levels, only on the Sport and above, is this beautiful illuminated door trim piece. The Sport trim level also gives you automatic wipers, as well as dual zone automatic climate control. Now, probably one of my favorite features that you get with the Sport trim level and above is this beautiful 8-inch entertainment screen. And what adds to the whole experience is this one-piece glass on top of it, as opposed to having plastic surround with the smaller screens. As far as interior goes, this is one beautiful interior to be sat inside. I absolutely love these vents. They spin around just like that. They look really cool. Turn the vents off, you gotta twist them, and to turn them on, twist them back just like that. So the display is probably one of my favorite features, but the dynamic select is definitely one of the most important features you can get. And they only come with the Sport trim levels or above. You do not get this with the SE trim level. And that is this button here. This allows you to change between different driving styles. Now, if you turn the car on and you press the dynamic button, you can select between 4 different modes. You've got Sport, Individual, Eco, and also back to comfort. This changes quite a few things for your car, such as your engine response, your steering, your engine auto on off, and your climate control. Now, what's pretty cool is if you do go to the Individual, and you can click adapt, so you can change everything from the Eco start stop, climate control, the drive and the steering. So you can change all of these manually and set it to exactly how you want to configure the car, which is pretty cool, pretty individual, and this is only available from the Sport trim and above. You also get confirmation on the center dash as to which mode you're in if you cycle between the Comfort, Sport and Individual, and then you get a little tiny square here to also tell you and remind you which mode you're in. Now, I love this interior. It looks great. There's loads of tech, great materials, very futuristic. One thing, however, if you've never driven an A-Class before, you'll notice that everything seems very raised high up. So the dash is very high up. so your sort of visibility is a bit narrower. Your windows seem a bit smaller compared to your other hatches, and the doors itself seem a bit higher, so everything seems raised up. That is my feedback if you've never driven an A-Class before. Just have a quick look what you get with the rear seats. As far as rear boot, you get decent space, although it is very constricted by these bulges that sort of come in here. So whatever you're putting in, you have to bear in mind that these stick out quite a bit. And worth mentioning that the fold down seats go down fairly flat. Now I just want to point out that the rear view camera on this car is phenomenal. It's super clear, super wide, and it shows as far back as possible rather than having most rear view cameras showing you down and just your rear bumper. Here it shows you a far distance view, which looks fantastic. However, one thing that I found very annoying on this car is that you have to manually release the handbrake and apply it every time you want to drive off and every time you want to stop the car. Now, unless I'm missing something like on the other C-classes or E-classes where they get applied automatically every time you turn off the car, with this it doesn't. So now it's not applied. If I turn it off, you have to manually press it. So there you have it, my Mercedes A-Class. Now I'm not sure if I want to pay the Mercedes premium for a hot hatch, because with this kind of money, you're very, very close to a C-Class or an E-Class territory, if that's what you're after. If you're adamant about a hot hatch, then the Mercedes A-Class is a very strong contender, very luxurious and a very cool looking car. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below.